Welcome to minute 58 of Granny Shifting. I am one of your hosts, Ryan.
And I am the assistant to the co-host, vice president of the Granny Shifting podcast, and this is minute 58.
Yeah. Let's host it like it's an NPR show.
I'm all right, man.
All or alt?
I don't know. Which is it?
Alternative right?
Were you at the White House on January 4th?
6th?
I don't know. I was there on the
It
4th.
It was the 6th.
just a normal day. Cold.
Yeah.
Politics.
let's
That's
not
one
get into
thing
that.
we don't cover in this podcast.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't really want to address it in my life a whole lot.
Politics?
That's one thing I won't get too confrontational about because I feel like I know so little about oh, well, this person is the speaker of the house and this person and they think this and they did this over the weekend and they found these papers under their toilet tank and it's just
Yeah.
man, you guys just watch the news, right? That's just what you do.
All right, let me give you one politics thing. This is old news now when this comes out, but when we're recording, this is 1 day old.
Okay.
Obama's chef found dead in Martha's Vineyard, drowned. Okay?
Like today was?
Today.
Okay.
Or yesterday. He apparently somebody saw him out paddleboarding. He fell off and they swam out to help him, but they couldn't get there in time. But the guy turns out to be an avid swimmer, swims regularly, as a very, I saw a video of the guy very, doing all different types of swimming styles. I don't even know what they're
He
called.
knows how to swim.
He knows how to swim. He drowned in 4 feet of water.
He did.
Yes, the chef did.
Oh.
Right? So, a little weird. But what makes it more weird is Hillary and Bill Clinton's chef also drowned at Martha's Vineyard a few years ago.
Really?
Yeah.
Why are they even in the water?
I mean, you're on vacation there.
Oh, they're not there working. They're not
I mean, they're probably. You think of your chef, you think they're cooking for him, and then they're like, I'm going to go out for a swim or paddleboarding. I don't know. Just weird coincidence.
I don't know what all Martha's Vineyard is.
I feel like a chef could hear. It's like a town where rich people go to vacation. Up in Massachusetts, probably, or Vermont, but they don't have a beach, so not Vermont. Could be Maine. I don't know.
Okay.
It's up. It's nice though.
Okay.
Expensive, fancy, kind of place we would go. If we
Right.
weren't going to Cancun.
Right. Like Andrew Tate might be there.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
One of his 12 Lamborghinis.
Oh. Does he have that many?
I don't know. He shows up on my YouTube all the time.
One of our followers, avid followers, is an avid fan of Mr. Tate.
I wouldn't say I'm a fan of him. I can understand the attraction that some people would have towards him. Like not just not physically attractive. How he talks.
Yeah.
How
He's a pick you up by your bootstraps and get yourself going and do what you need to do.
Right.
Type of guy.
Yeah.
Yep.
But yeah, he's definitely not someone I want to be around. Who did I see? Him and Tucker Carlson did an interview together.
Oh yeah.
I saw a clip of it and I was like, oh, that would be interesting to watch that whole thing.
Look at us talking about politics.
He's like, I mean, you can say whatever you want about Putin, but he did do one thing. He cured COVID. And Tucker Carlson just yeah. And he's like, because think about it, almost to the day, once the Russian-Ukraine war started, COVID went away. I'm like, yep, that's
pretty true.
Very true. So some people must not know that the war is happening because they still wear masks.
It's still a war. That's still over there.
I know. That's crazy.
What's the news reporting on right now?
Believe me, I don't have a clue.
I don't really watch the news. Look it up. Let's see. What's the headlines? Well, this is gonna be old.
What is this?
Good.
Good Morning America. What is the news site?
CNN.
CNN. Is that? See, I don't even know what like lean. Which way that
CNN's very
leans.
left. Fox very right. NBC's very left. CNN, I feel
Hunter
like
Biden hearing ends with judge, and he will accept
Oh,
plea deal.
they're doing.
I have
Hunter
heard some
Biden
stuff about Hunter Biden. Yeah.
Oh, what happened to coke they found in the White House?
I don't know.
So like,
McConnell freezes
Did
mid-speech
you see
during
that?
news conference. He's fine. Just look at that dude.
that's
No way is he
leading
fine.
our country.
There's no way he's fine.
Do
He
you?
belongs in a home.
That's rude. Just because he didn't get a facelift like Biden.
This guy is. How old is this guy?
Yeah. Oh my word.
Why is he leading our country?
That's not the guy in charge.
That's not Biden.
I know.
Yeah,
Biden's the guy in charge.
I know. But like, why is he? He's some sort of political figure.
I literally have no idea who McConnell is.
Let's find out.
Okay, but they found cocaine in the White House. Did you see that?
No,
And they were trying to figure out whose it was. We're like, come on, we know. It's Hunter's.
he's the minority leader of the United States Senate. You know the minority.
Oh, the
leader.
minority leader.
Mitch McConnell.
I pay more attention to the majority leader, but
All right, so they found cocaine in the White House.
and they're trying to figure out whose it is.
Yeah.
That's
Oh, that's it.
that's all I know.
Oh.
Uh,
But Hunter Biden can live there or stay there anytime he wants.
Probably.
I mean, he's the guy that's like he's like crazy, right? He goes around and
Yeah, he's
does
gotten caught
drugs
with
and
coke and hookers and
Right.
making deals with Ukraine and all kinds
Right.
of stuff.
yeah. Okay.
Um,
And he like owns oil like things
probably. Does
in,
he? Oil
in
things?
Russia or Ukraine, like
I own oil things. I
There's-
have a car.
whatever collects oil and sells it to people. You know, I'm very familiar
oh,
with the oil industry.
Advanced Auto Parts.
He owns a chain of advanced auto parts.
I didn't know that. Interesting.
There was some like when the Ukraine Russia war started, right? There was some like, oh, all these Democrats own like, or they like recently bought up these like places right at the border where they were like drilling for oil and like own the companies that were like doing this. And there was
Mhm.
like some like conspiracy, I don't know if you call it that, but like
I like how you
they're-
rolled your eyes when you said
they're-
that and quoted it.
they're- well, some people wouldn't consider it conspiracy because some people consider it fact. Other people would consider it conspiracy, or you know, that's why I did
Well,
it like this.
Yeah, I understand. The word conspiracy carries this like, oh, I mean,
Right.
conspiracies are real.
Right.
I'm thinking of the comedian bit.
Where he's
Where
like, I lie to my son all the
He's
time.
like, I lied to my yeah. So
He's like, you don't believe in any conspiracies?
he's like, not
that's
even
about it.
one. You think our government's batting 100? He's like, I'll tell you
1,000?
what. I have a son, 100, 1,000. You're right. It's batting 1,000.
Yeah,
It's like, I have a son, and I lie to him all the time.
yeah. Because he says he's like, the government is in charge of the entire nation. Like, and you don't think they ever lied to us? He's like, I'm only in charge of my one son, and I lie to him all the time.
Yeah,
Like, yeah, there are
that's
some.
true.
Like, is there like a not a conspiracy theory? I don't know. There again.
Mm-hmm.
Is there something that you believe in that at some point you believed in like strongly?
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of a conspiracy theory maybe, and then now like you feel like that's like your opinion and it can't change. Like,
oh,
I'll
give
give
me
you an
an
example.
I wasn't. Okay.
Like for the longest time I thought that people who thought the moon landing was faked were stupid.
Yeah.
And then I did barely any research and I was convinced that it was faked.
Yeah. Right.
Right?
That's
And so now that's kind of been like Melody, my wife, is like, he's like, that Ryan doesn't even believe the moon landing happened.
Yeah.
And like, so that's like my thing. Like I could learn brand new information.
yeah.
I'm like, well, sorry, I can't change my mind. That's the hill that I'll die
Yeah.
on, as they say.
Yeah, I feel like it's good to avoid getting to a place where you kind of wrap your identity up into a type of belief like that. I'm with you on the moon landing. That's a weird one. Like, if we can't be 100% sure that it did or did not happen, we know for 100% sure they faked a lot of the footage. Like, that
Okay.
is clear. It is super clear that some of the footage was at least faked. There is so much weird stuff about the moon landing. What makes me not 100% sure is there are people way smarter than me that think it was real.
Yeah.
And there is like the nobody's like, I feel like a secret that big. I don't understand like how Russia wouldn't call us out on that. Like they would be pursuing something similar and it would be in their best interest to be like, no, that's not real. You guys didn't make it. There's no way you did that and this and this. Or
Did the space race include landing on the moon? Was that part of it? Because Russia got the first satellite up, and then so like
right. I think that
America's
was part of
behind,
it. That
and
was a
then-
big part of it.
So did Russia go to the moon then? Like,
I
it seems
think
like they
they
should, like-
did go to the moon too. I think
Okay.
another country. See, I don't know.
Yeah. Do you think man since then has been to the moon?
I mean, we haven't claimed to go for the past 40 years.
Yeah, that's what I said.
But they're
to-
like, there's no point in investing the money.
right, we've already been there and we know what it's like
Yeah.
and whatever.
Yeah.
Um,
But they came up with a lot of answers. Like, all right, how do we have footage of the guy getting off the moon? Oh, they had some arm come out of the rocket ship that could record him getting out of taking his first step on the moon.
okay.
Some camera arm. How do we get instantaneous footage and can speak with the people on the moon and we
Right,
can't even
yeah.
like make a phone call across the country? You know,
Yeah,
like,
68, 69, 67. It's funny because I said something to my boss at work who is 62 or 3. So in 67, he might be older because in like 67 he would have been like 8. I don't know, something like that. And so when I said at the moon landing that I thought it was fake,
mhm.
he just was like almost like visibly upset that anybody could think that was fake.
Yeah.
Like that was like his childhood was like
I had the
so
exact same
focused around
experience.
astronauts and
Yeah.
going to space and like all that stuff. And that was like it literally was the greatest feat ever.
It caught me so off guard. There was a guy. It literally blew my mind. It's funny you're telling me that because I was going to bring this up. There was a guy I worked with who I posed a bunch of arguments about it, and he became emotional. This is a 55-year-old, close to 60-year-old male that's a project manager with a bachelor's degree in engineering, like very well put together guy who
Right.
became visibly emotionally upset as I was explaining this to him, and literally was like, this was my childhood.
Right.
Like somehow I was the highlight. His life peaked at that moment.
right.
Where he sat with his family in his living room and watched on his black and white TV
Right.
the guy stepping onto the moon and the things he felt, and I was standing there explaining to him how it was faked, and I
Right.
was somehow just like ripping his heart out of him. Like I was like, whoa, I'm not just explaining like, hey, this was like faked. Like it could be faked.
Right.
There's some weird stuff that happened.
Right.
He was like upset.
Yeah.
I was like, this is super personal.
Yeah.
Which also makes it really, you want to talk about like opinions and identities then that you're going to die with.
Right.
That's a hard one to argue with somebody then. I'm like, wow, I'm not trying to do that, man. Like,
Right.
but I had no idea. There must have been like this crazy thing in our country where everybody was so excited for this moon landing.
Well, yeah, I feel like at some point like you knew famous astronauts' names.
Yeah.
Like could you name an astronaut that's been an astronaut for the last 20 years?
Buzz Aldrin.
Wasn't he the one? He was like on Apollo 11 or something like that, wasn't he?
The movie? I have no
A
idea.
fictional movie.
Did you see the clips of him talking about the moon landing and like there's some weird clips of
I
him
would love-
talking about
that's a
it.
rabbit hole I would love to go down. Because I would love to have more ammo, honestly. I don't really care. I think it was convenient that we landed on the moon when we did.
Yeah.
But honestly, like I don't.
You're
like,
right, you're right.
If I found out that
We
it was
should
real, I'd be like,
research this.
that was so like whatever. Like
If we research this way better, we could have a much more educated. I've just, like you said, looked into it briefly and been like, whoa. Like, there's way too much.
mm-hmm.
Now, I will say,
It literally took like 15 minutes of me online to be convinced that the moon landing was fake.
When you started
like,
this whole conversation,
Short clips. I'm like, yeah, what are they even doing here? They're like,
yeah, the wires and yeah,
like not like you can't bend at all in like a suit, and they're like, yeah, it's just like,
when you started this conversation, you started with, I used to think that anybody that believed the moon landing was fake was an idiot or
Right.
something like that.
Yeah.
I'm thinking like, oh crap,
oh,
because I'm like, it wouldn't surprise me if it was real. And because there's weird, like,
right,
one thing I know is conspiracy theories are really, really good. Like these, in general, conspiracy theories, they take a huge amount of data and they find weird little
Mhm.
coincidences. And with tons and tons of data, you can find enough coincidences and make them link up that you're like, whoa, there's a lot of like, look at these dates. Look at these numbers.
Right.
Look how this matches this guy's
Right.
birthday and this. And
Right,
you're like,
yeah.
oh, that's weird. But like,
It's like National
if you-
Treasure type of
when you
like
think about,
connections.
yeah, there's so many numbers and events and things. Some of the stuff can happen by coincidence.
Right.
So.
My, I feel like we should go into the minute, but
We didn't even start. So
you didn't answer
either
my question.
our listeners
if there
have
was.
cut us off at this point, or they're like super into this.
My boss recently went on vacation and he had a layover in Denver, overnight layover in Denver.
Yeah.
And he was telling us that he had a reminder in his phone at 11 p.m. to be looking out for skinwalkers.
What?
I don't know. I had to Google it, and I'm gonna have to Google it again because I don't know.
Skinwalker.
And I did see there was like
Wait, where is he at?
he's in Denver, Colorado.
Okay. Skinwalker.
Skinwalker.
So he believes
is that what
that-
they called?
Late at night, skinwalkers come out. Skinheads?
No. These are like people who live in underground tunnels and stuff like that.
Okay. In Denver. I know. I watched a whole documentary about the ones that live in Las Vegas. That was weird.
Of skinwalkers?
No, I don't know. Maybe they're called that. No, the people that live in the tunnels under Las Vegas.
Okay, what do they call them?
I don't know. Watch Tommy G. Tommy G's great on YouTube. He covers all these weird
I think
groups
that's
of
what
people.
they were called. Skinwalkers. But anyways, like it was another one of those like weird things where like there's these rumors of these people living in these like underground tunnels and stuff like that, and like they come out at night and stuff like that to, I don't know. That's when
Find
everybody else
food,
is gone. So
Dumpster
yeah,
dive.
right,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
So
he wanted to see him, or he wanted to watch out. He didn't get like attacked by.
no, he wanted to try and find them. So, because
wait,
he
this
had
is your
given us his itinerary,
Oh.
and that was the thing. Because it said watch out for, and I like was like, does that mean like be wary of, or like they were like seek out?
Yeah.
And it was to seek out,
Watch out.
like at his room with his binoculars, like watching, like where do you even look, like the sewer grates, like what do you even? But like this
Yeah.
is the same guy who like was upset when I told him that the moon landing might
Yeah.
have been faked.
Yeah. Oh man. I hope he doesn't listen.
He likes going down those rabbit holes. Like as soon
Mhm.
as like something happens
But he probably doesn't-
politically,
Yeah.
like January 6th,
Yeah.
he came down. He's like, guys, get ready. Like this is good. You know,
This
this
is
is
it.
yeah. It was like Civil War. Like this is happening right now.
Who is
And-
this? Your boss?
Yeah, he's like kind of like
Owner?
yeah.
Oh,
What do they
man.
call people who, like prepare for the end of the world?
Preppers.
Yeah, he's like kind of one of those things. He's like, just
Yeah.
get here, just get here. You
But
know?
the moon landing,
I
he
got-
didn't want to look into.
But yeah, the moon
yeah,
landing.
interesting.
Anyways,
Oh man.
I
All
feel
right,
like
so
we
here's
should-
the one thing you wanted my answer.
yeah.
Here's the one conspiracy that I believe strongly about that I think has affected our country the most and people are most unaware of was the Seventh-day Adventist Garden of Eden diet of the late 1800s,
Oh.
where they took a religious diet, which they called the Garden of Eden diet. They took over our Board of Nutrition for the U.S., which every country in the world has now modeled their nutrition standards from. They Seventh-day Adventists that own the biggest importers of soy in this country, and then marketed their diet to non-religious groups as an animal rights,
Mm-hmm.
anti-meat movement, also known as the vegan diet. And if you look into all the connections between the Seventh-day Adventists and cereal companies and soy companies and the anti-meat agenda and all the work they've done to try to make meat, like blame meat for all the health problems and all this kind of stuff. It's crazy.
Right.
Crazy. And the people that have spoken out against it and the amount of like trouble they've gotten in for like bringing up stuff about it, it's just wild. So that is one that I've...
Is that conspiracy or is that good business on Seventh-day Adventist part?
Well, I mean, conspiracies are real. I feel like there's a common misconception that a conspiracy is a fake idea,
Right.
but a conspiracy...
Well, I mean, it
would
could
be-
be. It's like a controversy. Is it real or not?
I think it's deceptive because they're marketing it. It's their religious diet. Like, you've
Right.
heard the story of Kellogg's and cornflakes, right?
Oh, no.
Like, cornflakes were literally made by Kellogg's, who's a Seventh-day Adventist, to help stop men from masturbating.
Oh, yes.
Yeah,
Yes. Okay.
Which
I didn't
is
know it was
all
cornflakes
part
directly,
of
but
the Garden of Eden diet. and,
Okay.
yeah, all that. So, but yes, the cereal companies, if you look at like, I think 7 of the 9 members of the nutritional board for the past, I mean, this has changed in and out, but almost a huge percentage of them are all Seventh-day Adventists. And the
what
whole,
do they have to gain out of it?
it's a religious movement for them.
But like, people aren't like, I think I'm gonna go vegan. Oh, maybe I should become Seventh-day Adventist. Like,
No, but they're
Or-
getting people to follow the diet that they believe is willed by God.
that's interesting.
And then they also have their benefits of like, if you can lower men's sex drive through this diet successfully, then you eliminate all these other sins.
Ah, I see. Yeah, they are sinful.
All right. Should
I
we
mean,
start the minute? Should we just
Definitely
cancel this minute?
inappropriate at times, but I wouldn't say sinful.
I know, like in math class. Ugh,
Yeah.
hated that.
That's the worst.
Jason, would you come up to the board? Yes, let me bring my folder with me
Why are you carrying your backpack?
in front of you. All right.
That's why you can't wear sweatpants in high school. You
Speed
just
minute?
Can't.
Oh, man. Have we lost or gained all of our listeners at this point?
All right. What even happened in this minute? I've forgotten already.
Yeah, that was a long time ago. All right, so they're in the truck. They're looking at Dom sleeping in his car. And they're like, yo, where are we headed? And his eyes are closed. And he said, don't
Yeah.
matter. We're all just along for the ride now. Just sort of creepy. And then we see like a scene change.
Yeah.
They're in the middle of nowhere, mountains, this little like wooden shed
Yeah.
with a beautiful Porsche 911 Carrera GT3 RS
Which we saw
turbo.
in the garage at Campos's party the other night.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Same one. In the truck pulling away. So we have to assume they unloaded the cars there.
And there's a whole group of people here. People who we haven't seen before.
The drivers probably, right?
But then there's the drivers. No, all these other guys we hadn't seen before. I mean,
Oh,
they
yeah.
live in
They got-
Mexico.
And they're carrying crates. I'm assuming they're putting these into the back of the cars.
Oh, yes. The girl, Gal
What's her name?
Gadot's character, Giselle is her. I don't know if
Giselle
they said it yet.
is giving directions.
But Giselle says, "Welcome to Canada."
no,
or
she
to
did not say
Canada.
that.
Welcome to Mexico.
The hot Canada.
Yeah.
So
th-
now we know we're in Mexico.
Yes.
And she said there's helicopters on the borders that scan for heat signatures and there's blind spots. And she said I can guide you through via satellite.
So what they're doing is they're going to Mexico, loading up the cars.
Yeah, they
Stuff.
traveled into Mexico on the furniture truck. Luckily, it didn't get searched.
Or did it? And it didn't matter.
Oh, he's in
They
that
still,
tight.
they didn't have passports.
Well, that's true. In the cartel, I feel like it's much easier to get into Mexico than it is to get into the U.S.
Okay. So they couldn't just load the cars with the stuff, put them back in the carrier, and go back to LA.
No, I think coming into the U.S. is a lot harder.
Yeah. Well, not anymore, but political.
This is our political podcast here today.
I honestly don't have a
Oh
clue
my
if
word.
it's easier or harder than it was before.
Yeah.
Like-
look, anything we say on this podcast is probably at least 5 to 20% false.
Right. At least 5 to 20%.
Except the Garden of Eden diet thing. That's 100%. You need to look it up.
And-
Look it up and read up on it.
And dinosaurs never existed too.
Oh,
So-
what?
Yeah.
I just saw them today. I was at Dutch Wonderland. They have a whole dinosaur
Your
walk.
5-year-old told me that they weren't real. So and I believe her.
What is reality, though?
Oh, that's true.
Because I sat on this bench and the house flipped around me.
At the same place where the dinosaurs existed.
Yes.
Sounds like you were high as a
The
kite.
Wonder House. Okay. So no, you're not allowed to be on drugs when you're in this house. It literally a sign says that, and I'm thinking that would be crazy because
You're not allowed. Like the rest of the park, you're allowed.
there's a sign that says you cannot go on this if you're on drugs or alcohol.
Huh.
But I was thinking like that would totally mess with you. So they have this.
Do they know alcohol is a drug?
No.
Like you don't have to specify.
Okay, there's a conspiracy about that whole separation of that too.
But like tobacco's a drug, caffeine's a drug. Like,
yeah,
come
I
on,
know.
what's
I know.
drug isn't allowed? Specify, please.
Yeah, why are we separating alcohol?
Yeah, and not cocaine.
Alcohol and drugs.
Drugs and alcohol or cocaine.
So this house, they built Dutch Wonderland in 1963.
Oh,
They also built this
4 years
ride.
before the moon landing.
Yeah, exactly. No, so this house is like you go and you sit on the bench, but the bench is like floating, and
Mhm.
the house spins around you in the room you're in,
Right.
and it's real trippy because it feels like you're flipping upside down and
Yeah.
stuff. But it's just interesting to me. It's been around for that long, and it's still. My kids said that was their favorite ride, and I was like talking about it the whole time. We're getting on, and the people.
But
were
like when you're
"Oh,
outside of it, doesn't the outside turn?
yeah,
Okay.
you know that's what's happening.
Oh, okay.
I know what's happening. And you sit there and you're like, oh my word, like this is so trippy because your brain is confused
Right.
by seeing it move and you not moving. And it literally, like,
That's what they try to imitate with cars.
what?
Like our brain is so good at this.
Oh, right.
And it's how long have cars been around and they're still struggling to be like, oh, if this wheel is spinning and this one isn't spinning as fast, there's an issue here. So this one's spinning at 70 miles per hour, this one's spinning at 40 miles per hour. That means this wheel is locked up for some reason. We're going into some sort of skid. So we're going to break the opposite wheel to try and straighten ourselves out. And that's vehicle stability control.
Are you high right now?
No, I'm telling you. This is how
What does this have to do with the house?
I'm saying
Okay.
that cars, as futuristic
Yeah.
as they are,
Yeah.
still are not even close to what our brains do. When we're saying
Oh.
the room
Yeah,
spin,
yeah,
and we're sitting still like something like this
Whoa,
isn't
yeah.
right.
yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Anyways.
I heard the same thing happens with VR. Like you can get
Oh, yeah.
nauseous from VR because you see all this movement, but your body doesn't feel it to match.
Yeah.
And the confusion makes you nauseous. Funny thing is, my son Gage got nauseous in that house,
I could see that easily. Yeah.
but he can spin on spinning rides and whatever forever, and they don't bother him. He doesn't even get dizzy.
Because he's actually spinning.
I guess
His body
yeah.
is feeling the
that
spin.
thing messed with him. So,
Yeah.
I don't know. Anyway,
That's
20
like
seconds
those-
left.
Have you ever been in those tunnels with like a walkway
oh yeah,
that's straight
same.
and
It
like
was the
the-
exact same type
yeah.
of thing.
Yeah.
Where I was like, if you stood up right now, you won't be able to stay straight.
Right.
Yeah.
All right.
Here we go.
All right. So she's basically telling them that you're gonna drive these Rubbermaid containers full of unknown items back through the border. You have to follow my directions to the T. There's no room.
She's gonna get them through the
for-
black holes where they don't have heat sensors from the helicopters.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
You must follow my every direction. Any questions? Tienes preguntas.
And we have to remember the tension between her and Dom.
Right.
They almost hooked up, but it really didn't go well.
I meant to post that as like a sick burn. Remind me.
That was a sick burn. All
Yeah,
right, post. Okay, I will.
Um,
And Dom says, I thought Felix was going to be here.
Phoenix.
Phoenix?
Phoenix.
I thought you said Felix.
No, Phoenix.
Phoenix.
Yeah.
And that's who was supposed to be driving the Torino, right? With Nitrometh?
Yeah, because she said he'll be leading you.
And how weird. Oh. I just thought he's sort of throwing himself,
No. Yeah.
blowing
She
his
said
cover
that
by
he'll be
like being
leading
too
you.
worried about
Yeah.
Phoenix. Okay.
But she looks at him, because that's the only question out of all that. Be like, hey, what are we hauling? Or like,
Yeah.
what kind of driving conditions?
When do we leave?
Yeah.
What do
his
we do
question-
when we get there? And she says, Phoenix will meet you out there.
Yeah, very cold
Out where?
response. In the next place we go to.
And they just kind of stare at each other like strangely.
Yeah, and she's got a cool phone. Look, it's got a mouse. It's got a
Blackberry?
mouse button.
What? You click the mouse button and you
Is
get
that a BlackBerry? I think it's a Droid D1. Is that what they were called?
I have no idea. What's the
very-
mouse button do though? No, it's a mouse click. It's the left mouse click button.
Oh yeah, you're right.
That's your shoot
What-
button in Apex.
Maybe it says, what were those things called? PDAs? PDA? No. PD.
You're wrong. You're asking the wrong guy. I get my
Yeah, I
wife's
think it was
hand-me-down
PDAs.
phones.
What is a PDA?
So, if you're interested in learning more about politics,
Follow the Timmy Go podcast. Is that what it was? What was
yeah.
it?
What were your thoughts on the Barbie movie?
I didn't see it, but I'm with.
Ben Shapiro on that one.
I can't comment. I haven't seen it, so it's funny because
Ben Hur.
I'm like,
Ben
oh,
Hur or
is-
Ben Shapiro.
I'm like, is this a right wing thought of the movie, or is this just Ben Shapiro's personal opinion? And another person on his show or on the same, is it Daily Wire or The Wire or whatever it is
Yeah.
that he's on? Brett Cooper is also on there.
Okay.
Do you know who she is?
Oh, I didn't even know that was a female. Brett.
Yeah, Brett. Yeah,
What were her
she
parents thinking?
kind of like people are like, oh, she looks just like Ben Shapiro, and she like does
Oh.
Brett Cooper reacts and like. Anyways,
Okay.
you haven't seen it at all?
No.
I mean, she's, I would say, similar minded to Ben Shapiro.
Okay.
I think,
Okay.
and apparently she loved the movie. So
Okay.
'cause Ben Shapiro said that she did. So,
Nice.
but I didn't. We went to the
I
movies.
saw a lot of people like it.
Barbie, and Oppenheimer were both out when I went to the movies, but I saw Mission Impossible instead.
I'm going to see Spider-Man soon.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
How soon? Wait till Tuesday. It's half off.
Why? On Tuesday?
Every Tuesday at Real is half price tickets.
No, I got to go to a different.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Yeah.
I won't say where and when, because I don't want a bunch of fans blowing me up. I'm
Yeah,
going with
I
my
know
son.
how that is. Oh my.
All right, let's wrap this up.
All right.
We got some gaming to do.
Yeah. Seriously.
Our second job.
Thanks for listening. I'm Ryan,
And I'm Jason.
and I hope you have a great week.
Winning's winning.